All right. Just warming up my hands here. Seems an appropriate thing to do as I'm getting ready to talk about this very important topic. So, as people are rolling in, joining this live, I just want to preface what I'm about to say here about the clitoris is not a button, brothers. With the fact that I was having yet another conversation with a beloved female in my life today who was expressing her disappointment at the general level of awareness among men about how to touch a clitoris, about how to meet this most sensitive external organ in the human body in terms of nerve endings, right? And if this is something that you vibe with, ladies, if this is something you want the world to see, please have a watch party right now. Share this video on your page. Please don't tag men that you want to see this. Like, please just honor their dignity. Send it as a message in Messenger if you really would like to discreetly suggest to a man who you care about and who hopefully cares about your clitoris to get a little bit of information about how he can meet that most beautiful organ with the most reverence and care. But thank you so much for joining me. I'm here, it would be a lie of omission to tell you that, to not tell you that I have had so many of my lovers ask me to train men about how to touch a woman's body, how to meet a woman's body with the greatest sense of reverence and curiosity and sensitivity and potency. And this has been asked of me again and again, honestly, and I've been really shy about it. Of course I want women to experience more pleasure. Of course I want men to feel more empowered about how they meet a woman's body, the kind of pleasure that they can deliver, because every man, to some extent or another, identifies with wanting to be an unforgettable deliverer of pleasure for a woman, an unforgettable lover. And not every man has the skills to deliver on that desire. So brothers, please listen up. Set your ego aside, set aside what you think you know about a woman's body for a moment, and just give a listen. And ladies, please correct me anywhere you hear me speaking an untruth. It looks like my wireless connection. But that said, I want to talk about this phenomenon of men not knowing their way around a clit. And I want to say that I'm super grateful for the training that I have sought out and gotten, and I'll say it again before the end of the video. Orgasmic meditation, the practice of orgasmic meditation, is an amazing way to familiarize yourself and understand the dynamics of the clitoris in a woman's world, right? The clit is probably the most sensitive organ exposed in the human body, right? It's got more nerve endings than anything else. So we have to understand more than just the physiology. We have to understand the emotional dynamics. What is the clitoris, right? And I've been asked again and again by lovers of mine to train more men in how to touch a woman's body in a way that feels deeply reverential, empowered, potent, and sensitive, right? And you only get one chance to make a first impression on the clitoris. Let's just start there. Like, you only get one chance to make a first impression. And I don't want anything that I'm about to say to deny the fact that there's great fucking to be had in this world. There's great rough sex to be had in this world. There's all kinds of ways to get it on in this world. And you got to give some respect to the clit, brothers. All right? So from my own experience, from my own internal reality, the way that I see the clit and understand the clit is like a woman's heart right there on the outside of her body. Like, the clitoris is this exquisitely sensitive organ, this exquisitely beautiful, sensitive organ. And it is literally her heart. When I'm touching a woman's clit, I have the sense, and I want you to get this. This is the core message of this talk right here, guys. When I'm touching a woman's clit, I realize that I am stroking her heart. If I'm touching it with my hands, my fingertips, I recognize and internally even see that I am touching this woman's heart. When I peel back the clitoral hood and open that clit up for my care and my devotion, it's like I'm peeling her rib cage open and I'm about to stroke her heart. Right? If you bring that level of reverence and that level of care to the way that you approach the clitoris, I promise you, magic will happen. There is a direct line from her clit to her heart. And when you open a woman's heart, you open greater pleasure than anything that can be opened if you do not take that path. All right, there's all kinds of pleasure that can be had, but I'm telling you now, if you want some woke pleasure, if you want some real juicy connection, then you have to respect the clit. You have to honor the clit, okay? And what that means is you have to honor a woman's pace, that you got to honor the pace of a woman as she's warming up to the experience, okay? And that means that you stroke her body, you stroke her everything, like be with her and treat her whole body as this sort of object of devotion, and not an object, but a subject of devotion, a being to which you're devoting your attention. You take that attention, you take it slow, and you out-slow a woman in her desire. When you take your time with a woman, when you just like lightly touch her and gently sort of be with her experience and tickle her senses in every way, you show and you put your attention fully on her, like something in her opens. And when you take it that slow, then you allow her desire to build. You allow her capacity to experience pleasure to build. You allow her hunger to build, right? You want to tease that clit. You want to tease it. You want to tease that woman. You want to make her feel like she wants to beg you to touch her down there. Because if you haven't gotten there, if you haven't built it up enough, then you're shooting both of yourselves in some part of your body. I don't know. You are doing a disservice to what is possible between you and the woman that you're with, okay? And so take your time. First of all, don't go straight at the yoni. Don't go straight at her pussy. Like, even when you get down there, like, take your time. Take nice, gentle strokes all around the pussy. Get her so warmed up and lit and wet. And then imagine that your eye is wide open. And if you're going to touch her as lightly as you would touch an eyeball, right? As lightly as you would touch your own open eyeball, like so light, feather light, right? Approach this heart that's just there before you with a sense of like reverence, with a sense of exquisite care. And I promise you, it's totally possible to be a fucking beast in the sheets and still hold that place with such tender care. In fact, many women would attest that there's nothing hotter than a man who can be so fucking animalistically empowered and still know how to hold that space with majesty and gentleness, right? And it doesn't mean you can't build up to some grindy stuff, to the ground and pound, if that's where you want to go, and that's where the emergent experience of being with this person goes. But please, please do everyone a favor. Do other men a favor. Do this woman a favor. Do yourself a favor and approach that clit with care. Just take your time. Stroke it. If you're going to lick it so gently and lightly. Be so easy with it. Listen to her body. Listen to her sounds of pleasure. If she's not like trying to press that thing up against you and just like going crazy, and even when she is, take it nice and slow. Get it so ready for more. So gently peeling back the layers that just expose that beautiful pearl. And just licking it with such tender care, with such teasing strokes. Find your way around it. Vary the different kinds of directionalities of your strokes, whether it's with your fingers or with your tongue. Like brush it with your hair. If you have hair, even if you have short hair, you can still just like brush it. Like, what kind of experience can you create? And how can you recognize and honor the clitoris as literally the direct line to a woman's heart? Like, there is a direct line. When you are licking her pussy, you are licking her heart. When you are tenderly holding and honoring and devoting yourself to the pleasure of that one most sensitive instrument in the entire fucking universe, you are in an act of religious fervor. You are creating the possibility of more pleasure, not just for her, but for you. Because I will tell you from personal experience again and again that a well-loved on woman is one of the most beautiful, radiant, loyal, and loving creatures in the entire universe. Right? And that is a gift because she wants to give that devotion. She wants to feel honored. She wants to feel completely reverentially worshipped in that way. And you inspire that reciprocal experience in her when you can bring it like that. Not with expectation. This is not a fucking exchange. This is not some economic exchange where you give reverence and then you get reverence. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about a devotion to pleasure. We're talking about a devotion to the subject of your devotion, to this woman's experience, to this woman's body and her being. We're talking about knowing how a woman's body works, which is very different than a dude's, okay? And we're talking about taking it really slow. And we're talking about understanding the whole system and how it works together. So I wanted to have this be a brief process here. Men, I believe in you. Imagine how fast you want to go and go 1/10 that speed. Imagine how hard you want to go and go 1/10 that hardness and intensity. And when you make her beg for it, when she's just so fucking hungry for more, and you just, so gently, so lovingly, so lightly playing with that beautiful, beautiful portal into pleasure, you'll know when it happens. You'll know. And you can listen, and you can continue listening, and you can continue. And here's the other side of the coin, systems. How would a man know that you want it differently unless you let him know, unless you tell him? We need you to train us in how to touch your body. And I know that the idea of training your man does not have a ton of appeal. We'd all like to just lay back and have somebody know exactly what to do to please us. But in this world that we're in this Me Too era that we're in, the voices of women speaking their truth, including what they do want, not just what they don't want, is fucking huge. It is critical right now. And so I want to invite you to check in with those places in yourself where you have resistance to saying, can you slow down? Can we take a breath together? Can we pause? Can you go a little lighter? Ask for what you want. And here's the thing, guys. When you start going hard, you can't go back. To some extent you can, and you can get feedback and adjust yourself. And there's only one thing that I ever want to hear out of a man's mouth when he's getting feedback about how to touch his woman, and that is, thank you. Thank you. No matter what ego thing comes up, no matter what shame comes up, because you're supposed to already know all the stuff that we're trained with, I understand. You need to take a breath and say thank you. Thank you for helping me to please you better. Thank you for speaking your truth. Thank you for your feedback. Because you don't want to end up years or months or weeks or even days into a relationship with a woman who's withheld her truth from you and has endured your touch rather than been completely opened up by your touch, right? So ladies, please help your men. Men, please take it slow. 1/10 the speed, 1/10 the pressure. Slow down and lighten up so much like a butterfly on that clitoris. And see what happens. Just do your own experiments. Do your own experiments and see what happens when you actually take your time and you take it light and slow and easy and you go so gentle, so gentle. So I hope that you have found some value in this. Please Again, ladies, let me know if I'm mistaken about anything. Tell me about your preferences here. We're not trying to shut down the beast, man. We're trying to have that beast know where to soften up and be gentle, right? Even the wildest lion knows how and when to be gentle, right? And so just wanted to add this little public service announcement, because I know that there are many women out there who've been vastly and profoundly and consistently disappointed by the way that men show up to their vaginas and their clitoris in particular. Take your time, go slow. I know you want to get it in there, brother, and I promise you everybody's going to enjoy it more when the electricity. Here's the thing. When you build that energy, when you build that pleasure, it's like charging her pussy up with this electric current, right? And then when you ground into that electric current, oh my God, the pleasure is so much more ecstatic because you're both just electric with desire. Guys, savor your desire. Savor the part of you that wants to go faster and have more. Slow it down and let charge your own energy system up, so that when you do, if you do end up penetrating that woman, that penetration is in the most like charged and electric, sensual environment possible, an emotional environment possible. Because one of the things that many women will say is that they need a sense of emotional connection to open up. And when you treat her body with reverence, when you treat her with care and understanding and with awareness and sensitivity, you are demonstrating empathy. You're humanizing her. You're meeting her in her own language and at her level. And that's going to open her up. It's going to help her feel safe. Nobody can feel turned on when they're feeling like they have to protect themselves from something, even if it's from a guy who's just clumsily like rubbing away at a part of your body that's super, super sensitive. Like, even with the best of intentions and even trusted for your good intentions, guys, like badly and heavily rubbing away at a clitoris that's not ready for that is not a win for anyone. So slow down. And if you really want some deep training in how to do this, the best place I know to go is to orgasmic meditation. And if you're really curious and you want to talk to me about it, I'm happy to have a chat with you. It's part of what I do in my coaching work, is helping men to really cultivate these skills. But this was not about me selling you something. Orgasmic meditation is a really long-standing, well-established community where you can really learn. As a couple, you can learn these. Go get trained up in Om as a couple and do that practice for a while, and I promise it will transform your love life. But that's it for my PSA. Thank you so much, guys. Take good care. I love you. Have great pleasure and great lovemaking.